Welcome to an all new episode of Damn, That's Good with Big Salinas Barbecue with Randy and Junior Salinas. The show starts now. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to an all new episode of Damn, That's Good with Big Salinas Barbecue. This is episode 62. Is brought to you by the letter A. No, just kidding. Uh, Welcome to a good fun episode. We got a good one for you. First of all, let's thank our sponsors, which are Holy Smoke Spice Company, Brothers Keepers Barbecue, Prairie Fresh, Mad Cow Cutlery, and of course Meat Hugger. Be sure to check them out on all their social media sites as well as give their products a try, and let us know what you think. But let's get this party started.
Hey, Junior here. Let's get it going. Last night we had a good episode, talked about new stuff. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this podcast anywhere you get your podcast or on YouTube. Definitely go subscribe and like there. Let's help grow that channel. Find us on all the social media platforms, either Big Salinas Barbecue, or Randy Salinas or Junior Salinas, and we will find you and you can share. We do share tips and tips and tricks there as well. So that we do share here. But let's get it going. Let's get it going. First, let's get to small business shout outs, one of our favorite parts of the show. My small business shout out is Essential Home Performance. They can be found on essentialhomeperformance.com. They do all kinds of air conditioned systems. You need an air conditioned system, an HVAC system done within the McKinney, Texas, or surrounding areas, locations. Go check them out. They will help you out. It's about to get hot. Go. They got a special running right now. You can also give them a call, 469 459 3720. Again, that's Essential Home Performance. Let them know Big Salinas Barbecue sent you, and you won't be disappointed. What you got, Randy?
So mine is going to be Magna Chef gloves. You can check them out on magnachef.com. I do believe they're also on Amazon if you want to check them out. That is Magnechef. They got some amazing barbecue gloves that we've tried. We have a pair. I have the black. I believe he has the you have the red or
Orange.
orange. And then, of course, Johnny Mags at Pit Life Barbecue has quite a few. They have their Freedom Barbecue gloves, which gives you the freedom to move your fingers. And, of course, they have the other ones, which come in red, black, blue, and orange. Again, like I said, I have the black, he has the orange. Um, they are very, very good. They handle high heat very well. We talked about on previous episodes. Sometimes you can have to use air, like I basically have had, keep them next to the fire. But give them a try if you're looking for some good barbecue accessories to keep your hands cool and not get overheated. Magna Chef gloves. Again, that's magnachef.com. Order you pair or two. You won't be disappointed. I can promise you that much. Uh, but let's get into it. What have you been cooking up lately? I know you cooked something up yesterday. What else did you cook up before we get into that one?
After that, nothing. We will dive into some of the stuff. Been to some cookouts. Um, Definitely have got some stuff other than just kind of helping you cook for some events, which we'll go into as well. Really haven't done much cooking on my own ever since till the one here. I'm gonna do a chuck roast, probably do some steak bites tonight, or we may wait till tomorrow. We're gonna talk that over, but that's what we're gonna do tonight. But we'll talk about the other one here in a second. What have you been cooking? I know a lot.
Yeah, we'll dive into mine in our next segment. Let's dive right into yours. Matter of fact, no, we can do it both in the next segment. Um,
That's inside the pit.
yep. But before we dive into that, you said you've been to some cookouts. What cookouts have you been to?
We've been to some that we had for uh, just overall like kids cookouts. Like, hey, Memorial Day. Get a light on. Sorry, uh, it's early. Did a cookout for the kids, like a Memorial Day thing that we went to.
Okay.
We went to a couple other ones. Going to one this weekend, but the one we went to, um, he cooked some hamburgers, hot dogs on a kettle. He had a pork loin going on that was, uh, the wife said was a little dry, but I thought it was okay. Once you get into the middle of it, the first parts of it were somewhat dry, but his brisket, he it came out terrific. He put the spicy peach on that pork loin, and it took it to another level. He loved it. He said he will be ordering it. Was the Boltas out here in Frisco that have ordered from us. His brisket was very juicy, very tender, which will bring to a question when we dive into Inside the Pit again. I know we've covered it a couple times, but I did throw out the pro tip that you've gone out and done, and a lot of people have shared. Like if it is something new, you see some people do it, but you don't see a lot of people do it, and that's putting the next log, if you know you're going to put a log on your offset, to put it right there on the firebox and let that thing get warm. Because when he put that log that wasn't warm on there, he was blowing it, trying to get that temperature up. That will help keep your temperature, maintain your temperature. So I did share that tip with him along with a couple other things. And but it is, it was very good, very tender, juicy brisket. So it was a win-win for me on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. As long as it comes out good, that's all that matters. Let's just dive right into our first segment. Uh, let's dive into it. It's time to light the fires and crack open a cold one as we go inside the pit. Inside the pit is our first segment. We talk about everything inside the pit. Before we dive into his, I'll basically tell you what I picked up this week. If you stayed tuned to our TikTok, you kind of saw what we cooked up. Cooked up some fajitas. We had a catering. We had a cook up, which was basically beef and chicken fajitas, rice, beans, the fixins, salsa, and then a brisket. It seemed like every time we turned around, I was getting an email. Hey, I need to add this. I need to add that. But at the end of the day, whatever our customers want, we're gonna do. Um, so cook that up. And as y'all know, fajitas can be expensive, especially if you're going to a meat market and buying them. Honestly, I didn't price them out. Wasn't going to because I knew they were going to be expensive. Probably 12, 13 bucks pounds. When you're cooking for 50 people, you need at least I would say 20 pounds of it. Um, and I try to tell the customer, hey, it's going to be about quarter pound per person. With you add in rice, beans, and everything, it's going to be enough. To me, I thought it's probably too much, but hey, whatever. And then we get there. Of course, they had more food that they were cooking up themselves. Um, so chicken wise first, right? Chicken, buy chicken breast, trim them up, season them however you like. I season them up the night before with our side chick rub. Let them marinate overnight, and then just threw them on the grill. That come out delicious and juicy. Um, and then, of course, the beef fajitas, which kind of raises the question that I had to myself: can you make fajitas out of a big piece of meat? Mainly, can you make it out of a chuck roast? Because of a chuck roast, you can basically get a lot of meat out of it. So many different things you can do with a chuck roast. Chuck roast usually is what made for pot roast, stews, stuff like that, right? But we talked about it. We made it into steaks before. We've done a kind of like brisket style cooks on it. So different things. You can do different things with the chuck roast.
Correct.
Uh, so we bought a whole bunch of them, trimmed them up, basically separated the fat into like one chuck roast, maybe like 3 or 4 pieces, and trim that down to maybe a quarter of an inch. Um, Worth of the meat. So just kind of separating, to where they kind of fold like butterfly style, and season that up with our cowabunga rub. the night or the day of. But to marinate them, use some Texas Oil Dust Bullseye, which is a steak and beef marinade. So marinated that overnight. So probably 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And then I season them up with a cowabunga rub and let that marinate again for a couple hours before we threw them on the grill. Um, and overall, man, those things were juicy, tender, delicious. Uh, Very impressed with that chuck roast, how that come out. You had a piece. What did you think? And you sliced it up first too.
The slicing was easy. It really was just one simple. And our knives are not even the knives. Like if you go to my TikTok when we get into mine, you'll see how I was cutting what I cooked. They're not the sharpest things in the world. This isn't like some Asian market where it's just, nice and sharp. So they're not dull, but they're not sharp. They're right in the middle, I would say. And it was cutting like butter. It was just nice, simple, just bam, 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 staying together and go from there. It came out awesome. Chelsea had it. She loved it. The marinade was good. It was flavorful all the way through. But I do have a review for you. This will be some breaking news on this episode. He may have it. I don't know. He may have gotten it. But she
I
sent
already
me this
have it.
text yesterday. Her daughter's going to the University of Texas, so we wish her the luck and hopefully she can go and accomplish something, make this world a better place. She said the food was so good. Saturday, everyone was raving about it, and she literally gave his contact info out to 2 to 3 people that said they will be calling for their next get-togethers. And she said, even adding stuff like she did, it started as just fajitas, and she got worried and added a brisket a couple weeks before. So it made him take his game planning a little bit, like, hey, a cutoff date to add stuff to your order, because then that means all of a sudden he has to go and change his plan of attack or cook earlier. But it came out great. It was good. It is the cheaper way to do it if you can do it. The chuck roast like that. We're finding so many uses for that chuck roast. It is crazy. Um, I just love. I mean, I told you I went to a Mexican meat market here in Frisco, and I got 3 pounds of chicken, 3 pounds of steak, and he needed probably about 20 a piece, and mine was $75. So you do the math on that, and that wasn't including the tortillas. That wasn't including anything like that. That was just the meat. The steak is very expensive, marinated, and you don't know what you're going to get. At least this one, you know what you're going to get. Definitely try it out. Let us know what you think. Overall, 2 thumbs up.
Yep. I mean, if you can find one, I think the smallest one I had was maybe like $10, 10, $12. But most of them range price wise about 4 pounds for like 20 bucks. Um, which some people say, price per pound, the chuck roast is more expensive it's more expensive price per pound for chuck roast than it is for brisket. I know y'all probably hear that on TikTok a lot, which is you're looking price per pound is 100% correct. 5.99 compared to 2.99 is um, there's a difference in that, but when you look at the actual pound, a 3 or 4 pound piece of meat is way better than buying 15, 16 pound piece of meat that you may not all eat all at once. So looking at what you can do with a smaller cut compared to the bigger cut and how you can utilize that is so much easier and better. So I mean, if you're cooking for a family of two, three, four, it's better to have a smaller piece where you can finish it versus having leftovers or throwing in the freezer and hopefully you remember it and it don't go bad. Because after so much time in the freezer, it's not as good as it could be. So utilizing that. So that's why, like I said, I wasn't going to go price it and buy 20, 30 pounds of worth of meat already marinated. I was just going to do it myself. I mean, it's cheaper to do it yourself. You can play around with the different marinade and all that, but to me, if yours are good marinade for steak, beef, already out there in the market. Go with it. And that bullseye from Texas Oil Dust is amazing. Give it a try. Um, you know, and hey, like
Yes,
I said,
that is definitely award
it was
winning.
definitely good.
Texas
It
Oil Dust
it's a game
takes
changer.
down some awards for sure.
Yep.
No, it was great, and that's the way to go, is using things that you can do. We went to HEB, bought 2 chuck roast. Like I said, we may do some steak bites or something to either tonight or tomorrow night, depending on that. Something you can just stick it on there, grill it like a steak, or you can smoke it like a brisket, or you can do whatever it else you want with it. It's just that dynamic of a cut of meat, really, that you can use whatever. For me, using it as the brisket is really what I like, because
Yep.
it'll feed about 2-3 people and give you a little leftovers the next day. I don't need to cook a whole brisket for 2 people and a 2-year-old. Let's just be real about it. I don't need to do it. But I can still smoke it. I can still cook it like a steak, chop it up like say, you can do whatever you want with it. There's nothing you can't do. And like I said, we got great reviews on your mix, your combination. Um, there you go. You
Yep.
can't beat it, really.
And I figured it. Like I said, I figured it was going to be too much food, and it probably had leftovers. But some people probably took stuff home. Um,
They had a lot of food.
yeah.
But it's one of those things. Anytime you're planning for something, you say 60% will show up probably, and some will show up that have already ate,
Yep.
and they won't eat. So, but you have to prepare for it. And you never know. You get to having a party, you get to drink it, those some food. You go back to those fajitas. They were on a warmer, and just next thing you know, one of them's gone. So, I think it was a win for it for sure. Definitely something that we will do again, just for us in the
Yep.
future.
Yeah. Definitely. If you have not tried that out, try it. Try it out, and let us know. Hey, is there another way that you cook a chuck roast that we haven't tried yet? Let us know. Like I said, we've done the steak method. We've done the brisket style. We've done the fajitas now on them. Of course, everyone's done the whole pot roast,
Correct.
stews type stuff with it. Um, Let us know. Hey, is there another way that's been done before? Maybe you're curious to see how it turned out. Let us know, and we'll definitely will see if we can give it a try and see what else this chuck roast can do. Hey, we're all for that. But that was my cook. Let's dive into your small brisket that you cooked up. Uh,
Very small.
that you said you just trimmed it down. I don't know why you would trim it down that much, but let's talk about
I didn't trim it down.
it.
That's the thing that I've had to answer to some other ones have friended me and that were friends and messaged me back on TikTok and some other places. I got a flat part of the brisket, was already a trimmed part, flat part of the brisket. So it's the brisket flat for all you brisket connoisseurs out there. And what it was it was already trimmed. I did no trimming. I would not have trimmed it down that much. They really trimmed that top, but they left a pretty decent sized cut of fat on the bottom side of it. Go check out. You can check out my Facebook, Junior Salinas, or you can check out my TikTok, which is the same Junior Salinas, and you will see the pictures on it. We'll probably get them shared here on the Big Salinas site as well, as I did tag that in as well. And that's all I did. I put our holy garlic as my base layer, laid it down pretty good, patted it in there, treated it just, it is a brisket. So pat dried it, then patted my holy garlic all the way around, even the sides. Then I threw down the noble rub. I was thinking of going with the porker rub just to try something new, but I was like, you know what? Why mess with the good thing on this? We'll try the porker rub a different time. So we stuck with the noble rub, patted, dried, let it marinate really for a couple hours as I got my snake method set up on the Weber kettle. Use that Franklin's barbecue post oak briquettes. We'll get into a review on that here later, along with some B&B cherry wood chunks, and it came out super juicy, came out fire. Smoke ring was great. It wasn't over smoked like when I did the chuck roast. It cooked right around 275, 300 the whole time. I was hours. I was at work during the day. I didn't have to touch it. I was like, okay, I got break coming up in 10 minutes. I'll go check it. I had my meter probe in there, and it just sat there and connected and let me know, check my fire. All it would do sometimes, and they always say with barbecue, what if you're peeking, you're not cooking or you're not smoking or something like that. No peeking is what we should say. All I did was go check the temperature and went away from it. I crack it open a little bit because another tip is when you're using that snake method, of course, it will wrap around your Weber kettle. You might want to move that top grate a little bit as it goes so that you can keep it centered with that thing so you're not cooking one side too much of the other. We do that with ribs. We do that with all kinds of stuff if we do use that method, the snake method. So came out great. But like I said, I didn't trim it at all. I know people were like, why did you trim it? Why did you do this? I didn't. So it required no trim. Plus, it was like, I think $12 for that thing. I have a picture that I took a picture of it. I don't have it up right now. It was not expensive buying it at HEB. So I told her, hey, let's try this. Let's do this one day so I can cook something while I'm at work and do that. So overall, I think it was a win. What you got?
Yeah, as long as the family enjoy it, that's all that matters. I
The
mean, it's
two-year
perfect
old
for
ate it.
y'all. Um, and then you talk about leftovers. Leftovers basically will be for you because we know
Yeah.
one person in that household does not eat leftovers. She'll talk about it, but she won't eat
She
leftovers.
won't eat it.
Um, but yeah, definitely it looked good. No complaints here. I figured people were gonna say stuff, but like I said, they're trolls. Those are people with no profile, no
No
videos on
videos or
TikTok,
nothing.
anything like that. So I mean, you just got to sit back and laugh. At the end of the day, like we always say, as long as you and your family enjoy it, that's all that matters. Keep on cooking, doing all that stuff. Um, you know, None of that matters as long as you and your family enjoy it.
That's all it was right there. And then you were right. I told one that he goes, it wasn't, I said, my video, I put like, cut it like butter, and you can actually hear the knife just go in and hit the cutting board and down. I mean, there was no effort minus the first piece. I would give him the first piece. Chelsea cut it up in smaller pieces with a butter knife, like a plastic knife, not even a butter knife, a plastic knife, not used to really cut nothing. She cut it off pretty good with that. So overall, I would say it was a win. Like I said, it was perfect for a family, 2 to 3 people. Even if you had 3 adults in there, we could probably had enough for like if somebody would have come over. Not a big like if you would have came, there would have been nothing left. At all. So it could feed four, but like I said, one of them is a 2-year old, so she doesn't eat that much. So I would say it fed three. It feed three pretty comfortable. And they were decent sized chunks. It was great. Like I said,
Yep,
juicy, flavorful. You can't go wrong with that combination. Like I said, use that holy garlic as that down base to anything, and it's a win. There's your salt, pepper, and garlic. There's your base. Now add what else you want on the top. But
exactly.
I gotta tell them
Yes. Uh, yeah, like I said, yeah, definitely that holy garlic is a great base layer for anything. Then you can add your favorite beef style rub if you want to add the noble rub. When the cowabunga rub comes out, if you want to use that as well. So many things you can do with holy garlic. It is a good all-purpose rub. Very versatile. Like I said, you can use whatever rub on top of it, or if you just want to cook just the holy garlic on it, it's going to come out delicious. And if you want more pepper on it, you can add more pepper on top of it to help build a crust on there. It is very very versatile. Um, are basically what we use for like competition style on our brisket is the holy garlic or cowabunga rub, which will be released uh, soon. So stay tuned for that. And then of course. We use hooks, midnight rub on top of it. If you don't want that additional layer on there, you don't have to. You can just use the cowabunga rub and whole garlic, or you can go no bull rub on there as well. We've also tried our porker rub on beef as well, and that's very, very good as well. It does add a little sweetness to it. So if you do want some kind of a sweet element on there, definitely give that a try. So many different things you can do with all of that. Hey, and like I said, going back into the chuck roast, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, just definitely give it a try. Let us know what you think, what you prefer, all that kind of stuff. You can marinate it. You do anything you want with it. So any kind of piece of meat is so versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it. You just got to think outside the box and give it a try. Because again, no barbecue rules. You can do whatever you want.
Uh, you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. Like I said, give us a way to try the chuck roast. Like I would have never thought to use it as kind of a steak type of deal. Um, but there you go. It using it as like steak bites or something like that. You're kind of getting like that stew type of thing. But it can come out like a steak. You can cook it internal to a certain temperature. Uh, you know, brisket. We've cooked it as a brisket and it's come out awesome. So, like I said, it is definitely a great cut of meat and cheap. Like I said, I bought two of them, one for $16, one for $17, and they're thick, they're big. So if I did fajitas, that's probably enough for feed six people. Probably worth fajitas on those as thick as they are. So
Yep.
definitely. But we'll go from there now as we stick with inside the pit. We ask ourselves some questions. We ask Randy questions. I came across this, and I didn't say this at the barbecue I was at. I didn't. I kept my mouth shut. I wanted to ask him, but he had other people talking to him. I wanted to see why and we've talked about this in other episodes, so
Well,
you can go
hold
check
on.
it out.
You can't dive into the questions yet. You have to ask and tell us what you thought about that Franklin's
Oh,
pit.
okay. Oh, you want to do that first, Franklin's
Yeah.
review time?
Yeah,
I'll
because
let you
the
know because
questions is for the end of the
I
segment.
do have a review coming up. My next review will be on. I bought these. I don't know if you can see them. They may come off weird with this background. I cut off the background real quick. Background, virtual background. These light a fire starters. I got them off of Amazon. I seen Randy use it. He uses a different brand. I'm about to use one. And like I said, if not tonight, definitely tomorrow night. We'll use that out. See what it is because, like I said, I gave you those other starters. Are just I don't like them. They're trash. But I'm gonna use them. That's the one thing about us. We're gonna use it till it's done. My review today on the Franklin barbecue poso briquette out of my big old snake method that I use. And I always go a little longer because it's better to have too much and then you can always just cut it off. And not, I probably used maybe half of what I set my snake method up before. They burn low and slow. They do not burn fast. They do not burn. I was expecting them because there's not when you compare them to the B&B ones, there's a weight difference. They're like really light in your hand. So I was like, these things are going to blow through this. Let me set it up a little longer. And I was wrong. It held that temperature basically wide, not wide open on the bottom. I'd say about 3/4 on the bottom and wide open on the top. And it kept a great smoke flavor, great smoke ring, taste good on it. It got the cherry little chunks in there that gave it an extra little taste, sweet taste to it. And then after that, it kept it there. The fire maintained. Like I said, I really did not have to do much to this one. It was pretty much one of the more simpler cooks, I would say, that I've had. But I definitely like those the Franklin briquettes, the post oak things on there. I liked it. I will give it a thumbs up. It's a little bit more than my wallet likes to pay for stuff, but that's just me being cheap. But
Now,
it is good.
how long was your cook?
I started my fire at about 9. I started like 9:15, 9:20. I actually lit 6 coals. And that's my thing. When I do the snake method, I don't start enough of it. So getting it going is usually where I tend to struggle for whatever reason. But then I took it off at 5:30. So it started when I got it going, it got up to temp. It was probably right around 10:30. So it was about a 7 hour cook, 7 hour cook on it. I took it off at 5:30, let it rest for about an hour and 15 minutes or so, and done.
Okay.
Finito.
And you said you used about half of it.
I use about half because I cut it off, and when I cut it off, the cool thing about it too is when I suffocated it down, shut the bottom, shut the top, let me stop the fire, let it burn off what it's going to burn off. It literally stopped and just was boom. And I did two and two, two on the bottom, two on the top on the snake method, and on the top when it got towards the end, I kind of staggered it a little bit, standing straight up, beautiful. On it, as we go to TikTok, there's not a lot of dust in it right now, so I was able to stick my hand in there and do it. But overall, great cook, and like I said, it was nice, low and slow. It didn't cook it hot. It didn't temperature didn't rise. It didn't jump up when it hit the fire. When it hit the wood chunks, and those wood chunks were a little bit bigger than I would like in it. But I use what you got to use what you got.
Yep. Yeah.
I would
Definitely,
buy it
they
again
are
for
big.
sure.
Yeah, they are definitely bigger pieces than most of them. But yeah, definitely, y'all give that a try. Let us know what you think. Uh, you know, as long as it come out good. Like I said before, I've tried it before, but I did it more kind of a hotter deal, so I kind of burned through them a lot way faster. But definitely, it does pack a very good flavor in there. So definitely, if you're going to try it low and slow, definitely do it low and slow. Uh, but if you want something different than Kingsford Royal Oak B&B, definitely give that a try. Right now, do know they are in HEB. Char 380 has them. I'm not sure who else has them in DFW area.
I haven't seen it. I went to HEB to look for some B&B, and they didn't have the one that we have that usually we get in the orange bag, the briquettes. So I was like, I didn't want to go HEB brand. I wasn't that daring, even though it was cheaper. I was like, let's try this one. I know Randy's used it. He said decent things about it, but yeah, you'd used it to kind of cut fast, like that hot. Now, when I cook this steak, yeah, we'll get the temperature up there and we'll sear it. We'll see how that works. But for a nice slow cook like this, using the snake method, it was phenomenal. I will give it 2 thumbs up as well. It was great. It worked out great. Set up nice and easy. Like I said, for setting up the snake method, you can lay it down. It just fit. I mean, they almost fit right in the grates so that the grate could help keep them stood up. So
Yep.
it was really good. Like I said, I only used maybe half of it. I'd have to really go out there and look, but it was awesome. It was really good. We'll use it again for sure. But definitely go give it a shot. HEB there. I'm sure if you go onto the website for Franklin's Barbecue, you could probably order it online. You might pay for something in shipping, but I don't know. Let us know if you're in the area. You don't have an HEB nearby. Let me know. You can sell me some money. I'll go get some for you, and we can meet up. So there you go.
Yep.
That's my review. You got a review?
Nope, I do not.
Well, you had the
Let's
same
dive.
review.
Yeah,
You were just waiting to talk about it when you saw it, probably.
yeah. But yeah, we'll dive into your questions now. Wanted to jump ahead again. Uh,
Yes, I don't know the order. I don't prepare. I really tried to prepare for this one. The question I had, we've talked about it before, and I didn't get a chance to ask the guy that again when he went to it. Is butcher paper, foil paper on the brisket? He used his brisket came out phenomenal. The bark, it did take some away from the bark, which is what foil paper does. there are pros and cons to everyone, and you can look it up online you can Google it all day. There's no winner. I've looked up 3 pages. I've looked up sites, multiple sites. They always say their conclusion, there's no winner. Um, what is your preference? You've used both methods. If you had to go butcher paper, foil paper, what do you use?
I use butcher paper mostly. Competition wise, I'll use foil. It just kind of depends. Like you said, there's no right way or wrong way, just whatever you prefer. But backyard and catering wise, I'll use butcher paper. For pretty much everything except for maybe ribs, I'll use foil. Um, but yeah, I'll try to keep a stock of the big foil, the HEB brand, the Texas Tough one, the big one.
Yes.
That is the thickest one you could use. Um, I highly recommend that one. Don't stop buying your Reynolds one. Go to HEB if you got one and buy the big box. I think it says Texas Tough on there. Um, that foil is basically Texas Tough.
Yeah,
Uh,
it really is. No,
yeah,
I'm with
that's
you.
my opinion.
I'm with you. Butcher paper. I've the briskets that I've cooked, that's the only I've used is butcher paper. That's the only reason I have the butcher paper. I've tried doing ribs in both, so we could get into that on a later date, um, for it. So I love it. He used a lot of foil. And that's the one thing I see with people that use foil paper is they use a lot and that's the problem that I have with my briskets is that butcher paper to get that nice tight roll. Know what I'm doing wrong. And I will correct it for the next time I do a brisket. So that is what I need to do to figure it out. But butcher paper to me, it just holds in the moisture. Now, he did do the great thing. He did put it in a towel, put it in a cooler, let it sit for about an hour at the minimum. I would say an hour, and then he cut it open in there, and you could still see the steam coming off of it. So overall good, but that was the question I wanted to ask you was what do you prefer? Because we've seen some videos, I've shown you some videos of people that just use so much foil paper. I think it's just because they're used to it for everything.
Yep.
And they're like, I don't need butcher paper but for this. But you're right. I bought my butcher paper almost a year and a half ago. Um, when I cooked my very first full brisket for you guys, and I don't use it. Like I said, I've experimented with it on a couple occasions, which I'll do again. So there you go. I mean, I like the butcher paper. It seems to hold in the juices too, and it not kill your bark like the foil, which is one thing I've read as a big con against foil paper. But then the con against the butcher paper is it sometimes can be hard to keep that tight roll that you need when you're doing your butcher paper. So that's the question I had.
That's the question you
That's
had.
that's it. That's it. And these probes I'm seeing everywhere, these temperature probes that I thought were more expensive than they were, but they're really not. Um, he
Yeah,
had a setup like
some of them
yours.
are
So
real cheap, some of them are real expensive. Just kind of depending on how much you want to pay. Sometimes the cheap ones won't last as long, and they'll kind of if you get them wet, that's it. Um, so definitely, I always recommend just buying the most expensive one because it's gonna uh, last you a lot longer than it will the cheap ones.
he,
That's just my opinion.
yeah, no, agreed. Uh, he had the setup like you have the probes going into it. Um, his offset was set up a little weird. His offset smoker, it was a typical offset, fed into it, but his stack was near his firebox.
He has a reverse flow.
So it goes down and back around.
Hmm.
Okay. That was it. Was another question because I didn't ask about because, like I said, I wanted to dive into it. I was like, "Ooh, I've got topics galore with this," but I figured we're gonna hang out with them again. He gave your products. He loved it. He said he'll be ordering some more of it. He wants us to get into a shop in Frisco. I was like, "You tell us which one works for you, and then we'll go from there." Because that's always what we tell, right? Tell us which one you would like to shop at, and we'll go from there. He did bring up Walmart. You should get into Walmart. So there's no money in making it at Walmart, which a lot of people that were listening to that conversation heard it. Just not like saw some pictures with Uncle Steve and Bucky's and stuff, and he said that's just he doesn't really make that much money off of it. And that's what we're in business for, to make some money. So go to their websites, go to where they're selling it at the mom and pop shops. That's where we prefer mom and pop shops because you're going to help out a small business and you help us out. It's a win-win situation from there. But the other, I thought I had another question, but I can't remember. My memory's getting gone in my old age. I'm losing it like your daddy.
Yeah, you're about 60 years old now. Shit. Uh,
Telling him shit. You're about there. You're almost 42, ass.
I'm 20. I'm
Oh.
21. I just turned
If you're
21.
if you're 21, and how old's my wife? 12.
Yeah, she just
She's an
graduated high
infant.
school. Uh, yeah, I
That's
mean,
crazy.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, we'll dive into our questions some more. I don't really have a lot of questions, but since we were on the topic of fajitas, chicken or beef, you can only have one, and that's the only thing you can eat for a year. Which one are you going with, chicken or beef?
Beef. Beef.
I would say chicken.
Beef.
Chicken.
Spaghetti.
I love me some chicken. That's what me and Mason kind of talked about. It's a chicken and pizza. I can eat it all day, every day.
You could eat. You are a Ninja Turtle, but that's just
Yeah.
you've always been that way. You loved pizza. Me would be beef. I love the steak, so it's like a steak. I can but only thing for a year. I can tell you right now, after 3 months, you're gonna be sick of whatever you eat straight, and that's all you eat there. Um, but I'd go beef. I could see you going chicken. You're chicken head anyway. So what's the
Yeah.
matter?
Some chicken dipped in some ranch.
Dipped in ranch. Ain't no blue cheese. That's why he was getting bit by those
Oh man.
mosquitoes all the time because he eating all that blue cheese. You eat that
Yeah.
ranch, and they don't want your ass.
Uh, let's see what other questions can we
Man, I
ask?
love it, dude. You gave a shout out, busting each other's chops, each other's
Yeah.
balls on it. That's all we're doing. It's all in fun games. It's all we try to do.
Let's see. You got any other question?
Would you ever or have you ever tried smoking fruit?
I have not. I mean, I would do it probably if you're going to put it in like a pie or something, but I'm not going to
We're
eat it.
making a cobbler or something as peach
Yeah.
cobbler when it's smoked peaches, just to give it a shot or something like that.
Yeah.
A little
That
sweet.
I could see, but to let me smoke it to eat it just out of the hand, no. Um, but yeah, like I said, put it in
Let me put
fire,
this apple
stuff like
on
that.
there.
Yeah,
I know you've done it with vegetables. We've made our salsa before with the peppers and the tomatoes and stuff. The roasted, you get that fire roasted stuff in there. We've done that before, but that's a good question. Like just with fruit, I was thinking about that this weekend. I was like, I wonder if you could. I'm sure you could. You'd have to put something a layer down because when it gets hot, it is going to mush down. So you couldn't do it for very long, but you could do it.
yeah, definitely. Uh, yeah, I can't think of any other questions right now. Um, you got any questions, or you want to dive into our last segment?
We could dive into the last segment. Let's get into it.
And let's go around the pit and we talk about everything like we normally would if we're at a cook-off or in the backyard. What you got for around the pit?
Around the pit, it's finals time. Hockey, basketball, before we get into that, the Stars had a dramatic fall to their end. I had to show my. I got to give my father-in-law a little love. He fought with the Stars the whole way. Uh, I didn't have any. People were like, "They're coming back. They're coming back." I was like, "No, they're going to show us who they really are one game." And in Game 6, they did. Uh, you can't lose your if you're a captain, you can't lose your cool like that and get suspended for 2 games in the conference finals for something stupid. He should have been suspended longer, in my take. But you tip your hat to them. It's good. They fought good, fought hard, but in the end, they got outplayed, got out coached, got out everything. So we'll give it there. Who do you got in basketball? Who do you got winning? Who's your pick to win it all?
It'll probably be honestly the Nuggets. Um, I'm okay with either one of them. I think it'd be extremely funny if Miami would win it. So if I had a bet, I would bet the Nuggets in probably five.
I
I
think
could
the
see that.
Nuggets cruise in that too because
Yeah.
Joker's hard to. He's gonna be hard to stop. So yeah, at 5, 6 games, if it goes 6, I would be really kind of shocked. But I think it'll be 5, which is known as the gentleman's sweep. From there, but we'll get into it. Like I said, that's just it from there. Usually we talk football. From there, season is coming down. The season is coming up. Can't come soon enough. Uh, we were hanging out with Larry and them this weekend a little bit. We're just Larry and Gran, and the try to get me to watch this USFL thing. Crap, I did not know this fact that every one of those games is played in 1 or 2 stadiums.
Yep.
No team has a home field advantage. We're watching Pittsburgh and Philadelphia play in the USFL game in Ohio, and it's not a playoff game. It's not anything like that. He goes, you can't build a fan base. That's why he thought the XFL, you could build a fan base. From there, shout out to the Renegades of winning it all. But we'll see if they stay around. They took a big hit as far as financially. So these places are going to have a hard time, I think, sticking around as far as viewership is concerned. But I didn't know that about the USFL. So, and
Yeah, it's not. They're not. They don't have a lot of attention. I think after the NFL, then it's going to be the XFL, just because some of the different rules they have. Um, you know, and of course, like you said, the fan bases, were there. You do have a home field. Um, and definitely shout out to the Renegades for winning it. And shout out to Bob Stoops being the first coach, not only in Oklahoma, but in Texas, to win a national championship and a pro football championship and being the last coach to do it. Because he's the last coach in Oklahoma to win a national championship and the last coach here in Texas to have a Texas football team, pro football team, to win one. So it says a lot.
okay. I hear you. I see you. Yeah. Shout out to him. Like I said, I didn't have any hopes. Like people were, some people were getting mad. Well, St. Louis was this. They had a better record. There were 7. It's called divisions, dude.
Yep.
Uh, the NFC East, what 2, 3 years ago, sent somebody with a losing record to the playoffs, and they almost went far. It's called your division, and
Just
unfortunately,
have
it
to get in.
happens. It happens.
Yep.
Time and time again, even with the NBA, how many times remember that? I think it was Dallas and San Antonio one year. One of them didn't get in, or no, one of them didn't get home court advantage because they had their 1 game off. Meanwhile, in the East, you had teams being home court advantage that had a losing record um,
Yep.
back then. So it was just like, hey, it is what it is. It's called divisions. It's called your conference. So you just have to kind of go with it from there. So
Yeah, that's what's so funny is in the playoffs, is about getting in, and then you have a shot, and then it just comes down to can you get the lucky bounce, that lucky play. Um, you know, uh, you know, you talk about the NFC East. The Giants got in there several times and went on to win the Super Bowls that we thought they didn't have a very good team, but they got in and they went on to win it. Um, so it's all you had to do, just get in and see what happens.
That
They
is
got
true.
in, and they went and balled out. They beat a team that only lost once during the whole time. And was the heavy favorites, and they went up against them and basically put it to them the whole game. Um, so you just have to get into it. You just got to get in and see what happens. Take a look at
That's
the Miami
it.
Heat. Miami just got in, and now they're the second 8 seed to get to the finals. Uh, and basically proven Eric Spoelstra is a very good coach. To only win it with one superstar, but have a lot of talent around them that complement each other. Basically, shows you don't have to have a superstar, three superstars on the team. You just have to have a team that can compete. And they competed, since Jimmy's gotten there, they've competed very good.
Yes, they have.
Definitely, uh, you just like I said, you just got to get in. And then of course you have an NFL news.
Uh-oh.
I just want to know, is it really going to happen? Because it's shaping up that it is going to happen. If the vote goes what I would figured it would go to, you very well could see this year. Number 12 playing for the Raiders.
I actually just saw something that came across on the Bleacher Report as we filmed this June 1st at 9:29 in the morning, taped this. Um, that said he was not returning to football, but it is what it is. I think he wants to do something that no one's done, be in the ownership box and be on the field. So,
Yep.
um, hey, do you? If he returns and he sucks it up, does he hurt his legacy? That's some questions that he's going to have to answer himself on that
Yeah.
front. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the answer to it.
I hope he.
I know he's turning down the deal. Like Fox was scrambling. I saw a report that Fox was hurting because they were counting on him to be their number one star, and it's looking like he's not going to do it. Obviously, you can't have somebody within the booth that's an owner. So he looks like he's walking away from what
Yeah,
$37 million or something like that. So
yeah,
uh,
he had already walked away from it. He turned
uh,
that down a while ago.
so
Uh,
he, you
when the
know
talk about him getting into the ownership, that's when uh, he turned it down. Um, but like I said, I hope he doesn't return. I think he should stay retire, um, and just own teams. Um, and build the Raiders back up. Um, you know, personally, it would be kind of funny to see him not once but twice take Jimmy G's spot. Um, but with the Raiders, you never know. I don't know what they're doing. But hey,
that would be funny. No, that would be hilarious.
yep.
Uh, I don't know. People were coming out with their rankings. Where people might finish up. They've got Dallas as under the thing, like could be contenders, but not Super Bowl favorites. From there, people don't like it. I saw one thing yesterday where somebody was putting Tampa Bay in that line, but he's a Tampa Bay fan. So you expect that shows that belief. People get mad at Cowboy fans. Oh, you think every year's your year. Every year's your year. But shouldn't you, as a true fan, like if we went on to Sneaky G's podcast and we asked him, do you believe y'all can win it all? He's going to say yes. He's not going to say, no, I don't believe we can win it all. He'll say yes if we get the right pieces. That's our
Yep.
take. I did ask this weekend if we were living in a fantasy, if we needed to wake up from our dream of having Hopkins on our team, and a couple people answered absolutely yes. Let's wake up from that dream, and that's what we'll do. We'll just have to wake up from it and realize
He
that's
ain't got to
probably
wake up for
not
nothing until he signs with somebody
gonna
else.
happen. I don't know where he's going to sign. I just don't think. And the person said yes for the simple fact if he doesn't think we have the cap space for it. I could see that. Like that's okay. You're giving me an answer where I could actually see that, I could understand that, I could be on board with something like that.
But
Like,
we're
okay,
talking about the same group that had the cap space made up for Odell midseason. If he really wanted to be here, and Dak says, "Hey, I want this guy," they're going to make the cap space. The cap space is not an issue. Like I said, there's no point in waking up from the dream until he signed with someone else. Until
as
he
long
signed on the dotted line, you get to think about, hey, what can we do here? Can we use him? You can use him. Same thing, like if Dalvin Cook gets released, you can get him too. If you want to make a trade for him, you can go and do it. Um, you know, it there's no point in saying, "Oh no, he's going to sign with this other team," until he signs with them.
I got you. I could get on board with something
Yeah.
like that. Like I said, the only advantage is I don't see the good thing is that the Eagles are not anywhere in this realm of possibilities for him. Um, which is good. Somebody asked me this weekend, what do you think about the Eagles? Are they going to go back? I
Nope.
said, honestly, I think they take a step back. I think last year they have a tougher schedule this year. And that's the one thing about strength of schedule in the NFL people have to realize is it's all rotational based. So what looks, and they go off of last year's record. Who knows what they're going to do this year? Who knows what somebody's going to do this season? So I think they take a step back. I don't think they're going to have the Cinderella run that they had last year. Um, and so I think that should be okay. We'll be okay. I think division wise, I think for sure. But we'll see. We'll go from there. Like I said, I'm ready for football to be back. College, pros, let's bring it on. The Rangers are doing good, so we may have to head out to a Ranger game at some point. But we'll see. We'll see about that.
Yep. We will wrap this show up. Again, follow us up on all of our social media sites: TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of them. Stay up to date on what we got coming out. If we're doing any kind of events, anything like that, if we're at a cook off, stuff like that, stay up to date. We will mainly post on Facebook and Instagram. Then we'll post some, videos on TikTok as well. Give our products a try if you have not already. Uh, try them once, try them twice. Let us know what you think. They are very good. They do complement each other, and you can use them with any other barbecue wraps or sauces as well. Go to bigslingsbarbecue.com to check them out, as well as check out the stores that we are in. And like we always say, give them a try once, because you never know. You just may get hooked on big taste, big flavor, big Salinas. And then, of course, check out Magnus Chef gloves. It's magnuschef.com. Go there, order you a pair or two. We always recommend ordering two if you're going to have one for fire management and one for food. They are very, very good. You will not be disappointed. What you got?
Definitely on the Magnus Chef gloves. You got to get them. I'm probably going to go get me some of the Freedom ones as well, just to kind of for that fire management thing. If you're needing to move some stuff around, pick up a hot grate or something like that, it is well worth that. Worth it. So you really want that from there, and you won't go wrong. If you do find a store near your place and you're always ordering online and you want us to be in that store, hey, go tell them you need Big Salinas barbecue stuff. Tell them how to contact us, or give us the person who we need to contact and let us go do the heavy lifting, and we will do it for you. We would love to expand it out to other parts of the country if we can. And even the world. Maybe you're listening to it from across the pond or somewhere else, and you want our products in there. You won't be disappointed on it. If you have a product you want us to try, let us know. We will try it. Let us know where we can buy it. We'll go buy it and try it so we can give you an honest review from there. But that's what I have here. Let me see. I've had to switch computers, so I'm sorry if you're looking online and see me looking to my left or my right. got work. My small business shout out was Essential Home Performance. Go check them out anywhere if you need anything for your air conditioned HVAC needs services looked at. It is only going to heat up here in Texas. We are still in preheat mode as that temperature gets to rising. It is going to get hot. Get that AC checked out before you do it. You will not be disappointed. Tell them a Big Selena's Barbecue sent you, and they will give you that VIP treatment. You can reach them at essentialhomeperformance.com or give them a call at 469 459 3720, and you will not, again, be disappointed with them at all. But that is what we have for this episode 62. Amazing. We keep going. We will have, if you would like to join us for a topic, maybe just to talk barbecue or something, let us know. And we'll get you joined. You don't got to preach nothing. You can just join us for some talk, and we will be more than happy to bring you on. Make sure you get us on those lives because we may go live. You never know. But remember, anytime you're out there doing something, whether you're posting a video on TikTok, you're creating something for your family, doing whatever, do it with love, do it with passion, because that's how you cook, is with love and passion. And that's how you get your best results. And we will see you down the road.